crafty friends. NanaKaye here with NanaKayeDesigns.com and the Altered Book Nook on Etsy.com. What you see here is some old greeting cards that I have. And I am experimenting to see, I have tens of thousands of these I've mentioned in other videos. And so what I want to do is, now that I've got a lot of them pre-packaged into four mini signatures, I am going to see if we can make signatures. I am going to put them together because this particular one's card is really thick. I'm only going to put 3 to a signature, and I'm going to try to make my journal a 4-signature journal with 3 in each signature. We'll see. This is experimenting now. I've decided to do a lace on the edge like this on the card. That's the start. And then I have started printing the kit that I'm going to use, which is my Winter Blooms. I'm going to use this kit as my kit for this particular journal. Like I say, I'm just kind of piddling around. It's my day before surgery, so I'm just kind of keeping myself in a peaceful mode. I've got my beautiful Vagabond here, Vagabond by Tim Holtz, and I am going to actually, while I'm just jibber-jabbing with you guys, cut some of my lace. I've got 4 of each of my particular lace design that I'm using. I've got 4 of the dies, and I'm just cutting these out, so that's part of the process. And then we're going to put them on the journal card. I like my Vagabonds. I don't have to put a lot of muscle into it. Just this finger right here, muscle. Just kidding. Yeah, that's all I have to use is that finger muscle. Okay, so these are my longer dies, so they don't quite fit the paper, but I don't have to have the full length on this. We may have to make some other adjustments when we're doing this otherwise. And I guess I can kind of tap these. These are really doing a good job about releasing the old paper out. But I do have my handy little brush thing if I need it. I go ahead each time and go ahead and tap the little things out. And that's what you hear me doing, popping it on the side of my trash can real lightly. Although that doesn't sound lightly, it really is. I'm not really hitting it hard, guys. Okay, lightly, and it knocked them all out. So that's ready for my next one. I am only having to use, I can cut off each end right here. That's all I need to do what I'm doing. So I'm cutting off each end. I can just do this here when I'm separating it from the sheet. Hope you can see it. I'm trying to stay in the camera. I hope I did. All right, so I'm going to cut this end off now. So that should be the right size for every one of them. Simple process, and I am actually putting the lace underneath on the very base. So the lace is the first thing. The paper lace is the first thing that's going on. I don't have any need for these, I don't think. I might save a few for some stackables, but for the most part, I'm going to throw those away too. All right, so let's get our next one out. I've already done one. That's what it looks like. I'll show you the process. All right. I don't like how thin these are. Now, you could leave these in cardstock, print them front and back, and possibly have to skip one of these steps. That's up to you. I want my paper lace strong, so I'm making it a 2-layer. And another, yeah, and the reason I'm putting it underneath is I don't like this wide strip right here showing. Oh, I'm going overboard here. I don't need it on the top right this minute. What happens when I start talking, I forget my steps. All right. First one, we're just going to glue that bottom line. Then I'm going to lay it on here where it comes right to the cuts, the first cuts right there. Trying to lay it there and give me a little space here and there. And I am going to open this one up and make sure I've got them lined up about right. And I need to pull it down just a little while it's still wet. I want to line them up close to right, so that looks about right. It's not a hard technique here. This is real easy. Just look and make sure that on both sides you're where you want to be. All right, so next step, number 2, goes on the back. Okay, so this one, you're going to line your lace like this. Now, this is if you've got paper lace. If you've got regular lace and you're going to do regular lace, you don't have to do this double step right here. Just put your paper lace down and go with it. What you heard in the background was my printer, and I'm printing the yellow sheets because I'm making this lace a different color. I'm not using white lace today. I'm using a background color that we've already got. All right, so this one, of course, you want to line up where no white is showing and all the holes and all. You want to line these up as perfectly as you possibly can. Not always easy to do, but not that difficult either. Just keep adjusting as long as you can. Let glue dries, and there you go. So there's our first piece of lace on. And there again, it is showing, and again, the back a little bit. So let me try to move it down or up a little. Go, make sure we're good. We're good. I see a little bit of white right there. Let's see if I still can move it a little. And if you can't get it perfect, you can always put a little stain, which I am going to use the vintage photo on this, I believe. Reasonable Wildwood. I'm not sure, but I think vintage photo is what I'm going to use because I believe that's the color you're seeing all down in this card and all in here. So anyway, that one's done. That's my second strip done. Again, we're going to put the first strip down, and all we're going to do is put the glue on the side like this, just to get right there in that area. Again, I want it to be lined up, so I'm going to lay it down and not press on it. I'm not going to press on it yet. I am just going to get it in position where I think it needs to be, approximately. Then I'm going to lay this one down, and I'm going to slide it into position. If it's not already into position, I'm going to go down just a tiny, tiny bit. And there we go. We're in position. Make sure we're in right place, right place, right place. It looks like it's even along that line there. And then we're going to come with this last piece and put it on. And this is the piece that you do. You glue all the way around. You go all the way around on this one because you want the two to adhere together to make one piece. And the reason I'm doing this again is I need it for strength on this lace. Again, if you're using regular material fabric lace, you would not have to do this because it's not, your fabric lace is not going to tear. Okay, let's look at this way. Okay, line it up, line it up, line it up, and line it up right there. There you go. All right, I think I've got it on this side. Let's turn around and look at it on this side. Looks like we've got some white showing, and I don't know why that would be because it's not showed on this side, but we're going to press it down a little. And it's just always a good idea to look at both sides. All right, so second signature is done, and it will go inside of this one like so. Okay. And hopefully the third one is not going to stick out too far. And that's what we're trying to prevent. As you know, when you're doing these and you start stacking them, this edge right here gets shorter and shorter across there. So I have to make sure that when I put this one in, that my lace is still going to be in the right position. So I got to kind of look at this and make sure that it's not going to stick out too much further. And just doing 3, it's not. It doesn't appear to be. So I think we're good. So we'll go one more. And this is going to be my signatures. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and we'll get this first signature done today on the video. And then I'll come back and let you see. I'll get these cut first, and then we'll come back and actually got to grab another piece of paper here. Went ahead and printed a bunch, as you see. I'm sorry you can't see the vagabond all that well. I'll try to turn it a little more, but I don't think this part really matters all that much. You guys, if you've been doing this very long, you know how to use the cutting machine, the die cut machine. If you don't, you can sure make me a comment, and I will make sure that I do a series of cutting with the vagabond right on camera so you can see everything if you wish to have it. So just make a comment in the comment box below the video, and we'll do that for you. Don't mind doing anything that you guys want me to do. Whoops, it's not wanting to go right this minute. Oh, all of a sudden it's decided to cut up. Doesn't normally do this. I'm trying to figure out what we've done different. Nothing's different. So I can't seem to get the first plate underneath. There we go. Absolutely important that that plate locks underneath that roller. But we got it. No big deal. Things like that happen sometimes. Okay, so we've got that. We'll pull our paper off. I really need some new plates, probably. My plates are getting extremely warped. All right. Pull these off for right now. Set them aside. Get them cleaned in a minute. I'm not going to clean them on camera this time. You guys know how to do that by now. And I still have stuff from the Kill Tranquility sitting up here for little odds and ends I'm doing on that book. We are going to be doing the, all right, where will I lay my scissors? There they are. We're going to finish up and get you look through on that one soon. Like I say, I'm sitting here today waiting for them to call me to the surgery, to the hospital. What day, time tomorrow to be there for surgery. And as most of you that are follow me know, I'm going into major surgery tomorrow. I will be out of commission for about 2 weeks, guys. I hate to do it. That's why I'm not really doing any specific project today, starting anything major, because I don't know how long I'll be out. And that's even if I make it through the surgery. It is a very risky procedure that we're getting ready to go through. But I've left that into the Lord's hands. So I ask your prayers for my family and me. Mostly for my family, because my little 3-year-old would be devastated if something happened to his nanny. I don't know what would happen to him, but it would be bad. Of course, his papa would still take care of him. And see, when I'm having a stressful day, this is just so relaxing to me, even though I'm videoing, and sometimes video is a little stressful for me. Today, I'm not even worried about it. If I make mistakes, I make them. If I make oopsies, I just make them. And I just ask you guys to forgive me and understand that I am just really stressed today. But I'm doing what I love, and that's important. All right, let's see if we can line it up without having to make so much error. Let's look at this last one, make sure we're kind of lined up in the same area. We want them about the same, and they are. Very good, very good, very good. Very good. I'm starting to be able to eyeball about where it goes, so that's really good. All right, so we're going to get that one on. Yes, again, these are old greeting cards I purchased in a large stock. I bought a whole storage bin. So I have over 10 to 20,000 greeting cards. I have been giving a lot of them away to local churches for get wells and birthdays and anniversaries. So I have been doing that. Instead of making cards, I've been giving the ones that came in this bin away. So I am trying to reduce the size of them. It's a lot in my storage unit. I mean, it has taken up a lot of my storage space, but that's okay. If we can make journals out of these, this is going to be an awesome process. So instead of just altered books, I'll have altered greeting card journals too. I think that'll be fun if we can do that and if it works out okay. This card stock is really thick on this card, so I'm a little concerned about how thick my pages are going to be. But if you've ever watched me working on a true trunk journal, which I have started a series on that and have not finished it. But if you've ever watched it, you see that I always do use a big, heavy card base because I design off the side and then I glue whatever I make onto my card base. So for that reason, I think these are going to work out well. But we won't know till we get into this one. So I'm glad you're here with me. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe at the bottom. And this will be called an altered greeting card journal. So that's what the series is going to be. Yes, it will be a series because I will be doing several different things, trying to add to this journal and the pockets and different things that I'll be making. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is a type of a waterfall. I've got a new die cut that cuts waterfalls, and I love it. And if it's not too large for this journal, I am going to use that probably on the very first page that I actually decorate. So, but we still got 2 steps on this one before we get to all that fun stuff. I would suggest, if you're going to follow along with me, that you go ahead and choose the kit that you're going to do. Go ahead and find your greeting cards. And they do not have to be all the same size if you do not wish it. That would make it very intriguing for them to be different sizes. For me, I am doing them the same size because luckily for me, I have plenty of the same type of cards. So I can do all these the same size. But I do think it would be very intriguing, very eye-catching for you to be using different size greeting cards inside your journal. But the steps will all be the same. Nothing will change. You will still do the same type of steps I'm doing, just like putting the lace on. Now, this decision is yours too. If you really don't mind this wide strip showing above your design, then you don't even have to put this underneath. I'm putting it underneath, and you'll understand what I mean by underneath in just a few minutes when I get it done. You will see what I'm talking about. I'm making it probably a little more difficult for myself by doing this, but that's okay. I'm always up for a challenge. All right, so the third one is done. I am seeing a lot of white there, so I'm going to try to slide a little bit, guys. I see too much white. It's not making me happy. There we go. But I can, again, use my stain to make, yeah, it's just too much there for my satisfaction. Talking too much, and I didn't really pay attention, and now I think we're glued, and I don't think we're going to move. But I'm trying. Yeah, it moved a little bit. All right. Anyway, stain. Let me flip myself around and find my stain. Might as well go ahead and do that while we are worried about it. Okay, I've got the vintage photo and the weathered wood. What do I want? I don't think weathered wood is going to be the right. Oh, goodness. I don't think that. No, that gray is not going to be the right color. It's going to be vintage photo. All right, so let's find the vintage photo. Okay, and there's my diver. Okay. What I'm saying is if there's white, you can always come in like this. Just lightly. I would not do a lot of staining on my lace, especially if you're matching your lace to your background of your digital that you're using, or the or whatever paper. Now, you do not have to use digitals. And when I say digitals, I'm talking about a pre-printed kit like this that has digital designs already done. If you want to just use plain old scrapbook paper and just, you know, you don't even have to match, just all different colors and variety, that's up to you. I am actually using, again, the Winter Blooms kit that is on my Etsy site. Well, yeah, I think it's on Etsy, and it's definitely on NanaKaye Designs. And I may add 1 or 2 more pages. If I do, again, as always, I will add the pages to the Dropbox so that you can go at any time and download anything extra with the link you're given when you purchase the kit. Anything that I add will be added there, and you will still be able to go back and re-download the extras. Okay, so there's a little bit of staining on my first signature. And yes, I like the color. Okay. So for right now, that's all the staining we're going to do. Let's stack them together, make sure everything seems to correspond correctly. Make sure we look good. Oh, I see, and we're sticking out a little further than I want to. So let's see what happens when we really press it down into that crack. Nope. So let's try to pull this one out. And this one, let's do it backwards. Let's put that one in the center since it sticks out the least. Probably doesn't matter. Yeah, that one looks a little better that way. Yeah, there we go. See, sometimes just rearranging them makes a difference. And I did. I rearranged it and it looks better, okay? So my signature, my base of my signature is done. This is my base for my first signature, guys. And I think that's lovely, just like it is before we even get started. Okay, next we want to choose our first page signature. I'm going to go ahead and mark these so that I know what order they're in. This is number 1. Doesn't matter. I'm going to cover all that up, 2 and 3. But this is just for my own good, so I'll know where each one goes, okay? That's up to you. You're probably not as ditzy as I am. Drinking my drink. I'm sorry. All that medication's got me dry mouthed. Oh, but it said it could do that. All right, now color. I want to do this inside panel. And originally I had started working on this. I didn't put lace on it, and I made the panels 2 different ways. I'm not going to, I don't think, on this one. I think I'm actually, I gotta think about it a minute, guys. Let me think just a second. No, we're gonna keep going with it. We're gonna choose two panels to go in here because I gotta cut them as close as I can because the lace is going to make up some of the space now. So now I've got to come in here and I've got to mark it. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the panel in half. I know I don't need more than half of this panel. So that's the first step, is to cut that in half. And for me, I don't know how to cut very much of it all, so I'm just going to fold it in half like this and stick it up there and just cut a little bit of the edge off. If my blade will cooperate, it is starting to get really, really dull. So it doesn't want to cooperate sometimes, but that's okay. We'll fight with it. All right, so we're going to save this one for later, and we're going to find a matching one to go on the other side. Let's see. Well, not matching, but something close. I really like this beige, and I should have something else in beige. Somewhere in this pile, I got all kinds of my back. Oh, I like the polka dot. Okay, I like these two. Okay, similar. All right, so we got to match it up along that edge because we want to make this my edge. So I'm going to slide it just slightly this way. Put my pencil right there, and I have got to get this one as close to this mark as I possibly can. I don't want it to go under. I'd rather go over because I can trim there. But this side here, we've got to get as close as possible because, again, we don't have much space to trim with our scissors once we cut it. So here's what I'm talking about. First of all, I want to get it right on that line, if at all humanly possible, and as straight as possible. I'm going to save this for a stackable later, like when I'm doing stacks for paper clips, hidden paper clips. Excuse me, I had a burping session there. I apologize. All right, and we're going to cut this one as close again as we possibly can to our line, to our cut. All right, let me save that one too. That's a good piece right there. That's a really good piece. Put that over there. All right, let's see if we got it close enough. Okay, the way I tell if I'm really close enough or too close is to fold it. And if I start getting a push, and I did, it pushed away, I need to trim this just a tiny bit more, and that's really very hard for me to do. I always overdo it. I'm going to start this end. Try one more time, just a tiny bit. But I'd rather have some in the middle because it's going to get sewed in that middle. I'd rather go it this way. I don't want to trim off. Oh, it's a little crooked anyway. So let's see what we've got. Let's see if we're going to cut any at all. I hear just a slight amount being cut. My blade is wanting to rip because it is dull. That makes me very unhappy. I should have done it with my ruler. All right, let's see if we got that done that time. Oh, y'all tired of hearing me talk. All right. Again, I'm going to lay it where I want it. And I'm going to fold my card up and make sure it's not pushing or anything, and it didn't. So I've got a little bit more line there than I want, but again, nothing that we can't trim on the top and bottom here. This is absolutely beautiful. Let's turn it this way and see if we get a prettier. I like the hearts being upright. That is if I had the card upright. Yes. Okay. So I see a little bit of white right there. I'm going to have to trim. I don't like that little bit sticking out. It should not be. This is tedious right here, but we can do it. Not hard at all. There we go. Okay, so we're going to cover the inside again. Trying to make sure everything lines up. Top and bottom. We don't want any white showing if we can help it. Again, like I said, nothing stain won't cover if needs be. Okay, we're good there. Okay, we're good. All right, what we're going to do is grab a couple pieces of my glue papers. Get these over to this side so I can grab them easier. Lay them down like so. Oh, goodness, there's a fly. Lay them like this. All right. My beautiful, wonderful glue stick. And let's put a good amount on that seam and a good amount on that seam. We want them sealed down. I don't worry so much about the middle, but I do them edges. They got to be glued good. And I can kind of look in the shadow, kind of to the side when the sun reflects, and see where I have my glue. All right, let's go again. Okay. I'm concentrating, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure no white is showing where I don't want it to. Like on this edge here, we do not want white showing. I'd rather my white shows through here. But I don't want it at the top either. And do remember, your paper stretches a little once you put glue on it. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it does. It stretches a little. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to go with it just like that and not worry about it too much. Got more white down here than I want. No, I'm just not happy with that, and I'm not going to accept it. Now, I know I measured it right, so I've got to make sure I lay it right. There we go. Let's see, oh well, he did it at the top too. Let's see if there's anything sticking out at the bottom. Yeah, there's a little bit sticking at that bottom, so you know what? We're not going to go worry about it. We're going to do this right here. Just like that, and if there's any white sticking out, it's going to cover it. And I could have stained this thing before I glued it down, which might have been a good idea. But anyway, there that is. Got a little bit extra there. I am going to roll it over here. It's very minute, y'all. You cannot probably see it on the camera. I can see it because there's a tiny bit of white along the edge. And I'm going to cut that off. Just a slight slither. Just that little bit there, if you can see it. Not much at all. All right. So, that is done, the first cover. Now, let's really seal this down good. My vagabond's in my way, and my scraper's way over here. All right. Press it down. I like to press it down. I like to get all the air out. Y'all, you know that by now if you've watched me very often. My glue sheet's aside. Okay, now we're going to do this side. And I think I'm going to go with this tan. Sure. Trying to see what else I have. I kind of like that too. As a matter of fact, I like that better. I hope I got a piece of that. And I do. I like that one better. All right. So, same again. We're going to measure from this side because we can't cut anything on this side. So this is the side. We've got to get it evened up. Even it up right there. Take your pencil and mark where you want to cut it, which is going to be right there. Nope, it's going to be a little deeper than that. Cut over a little more because that's right on the fold line. So let's erase that and look again. I need to move it up some more so I can see it. But it has to stay right on this line on this edge here. Then there's my fold line. So I come just a tiny bit beyond it. Very, very fractional amount. All right, then we're going to put it back. And we're going to do it this way. Here. I'll go that way. There we go. I'm getting the hang of it now. Going backwards. And we want to cut this one right there as closely as we can. All right. Got our 2 marks. Get all this old paper out. That really does make a mess. Save my strip. Save my strip. All right, that should be in good shape. Same thing, put it on your edge here where you want it. When I go to fold it, am I sliding over? Yes. I don't know why I am. It should not have done that. Okay, put it down like this. Let me fold it and see. Yeah, I'm folded coming out just a tiny bit. I hate it when I have to cut them little fractions off, so I'll learn as I'm going along exactly how much to cut off, because it is getting tedious trying to cut this little teeny edge back off, because it doesn't want to do it. But we did it. And this is why, because it buckles up when I come back, but hopefully I didn't cut it too much. I may have. That was probably way more than I needed to, but that's okay. I don't mind there being a white line in the center because we're going to stitch all that into a book. Yeah, that looks okay. Coming over. Yeah, so it looks good. All right, so same step as before. We're going to ink it up. I have to quit saying ink. Glue it up. We're going to glue it up. Get that one on. We'll lock down that edge right there. I want to make sure that's done, and I want to make sure it's on this edge, but I don't want to hit those little holes and get the glue on the outside. That's what I'm trying to prevent. All right, again, our most important place is this corner, along this top edge, and along this bottom edge. As you see, we are crooked, and I don't know how that happened, but we're going to keep adjusting and hopefully get it adjusted properly so we get it right. Nope, still not quite. I shouldn't be having all these problems because I know I'm being cautious in measuring, but and sometimes it's how you turn your paper. I might have measured it to cut it one way and I turn it another. But anyway, there we go. That's on there. I think that looks good at this point. And there we go, a little bit more wide down there. Like I say, that's my sewing area. I'm not going to worry about it. I will come down here and wipe as much glue out as I can, turning it the wrong way, and just ink it. Okay, both sides. Both sides. Ink, 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 ink. Just a little stain, not a lot. Just enough to know it's there. And we'll see. Now that looks good. I'm not going to complain. That looks good to me. Let that dry. Don't worry about that because we will erase it off for one thing, and then we will actually cover it up probably with a pocket or something. For most of us, all right. So the inside is done, other than decorating it, but it's got the base on it. So now let's decide what we want. This is our front cover, so this is the first piece you're going to see in this journal we're putting together. So what do we want for a front cover? I like this elderly woman, and I like this little kid. So I think she's going to be my front because I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to make it simple by just actually gluing the whole thing down. I'm not going to cut it in half, anything like that. We're just going to trim off the edges. Trim the edges off. Let's get all the white space done away with. And I got to cut it again because I must not have laid it on very straight, which is I'm well known for doing. Okay, there we go. And I know I can cut a little bit off this edge and not sweat it because I know it's going to have to be trimmed down just a little bit more. I did measure these before I printed them. These actually were the altered book size, and the card is even smaller than the altered book. So I did put it on my Photoshop, and I have reduced these into centimeters, the right centimeters. They're 25 centimeters this way, 18.5 that way. So I have resized these to fit my cards. Now, you can do that if you know how to resize a digital on your computer. If you do not, you will probably have to cut this in half and just lay it down and trim it. So see, I'm pretty much right here and here. I'm sure I'm a little tall here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to roll it over this way, and I'm going to try to center that between the two. Try to get this so I cut the same amount off the top and bottom. And I am a little bit over here, it looks like. So I do need to trim one more time. And I don't know why it's a little bit off. It looks like it's a little off. So let's just measure it just to see if it's straight or if it's just me. I'd rather turn it this way because I get more butted against here. Yeah, it's a little crooked. All right, so... And I don't know why my cutter wants to do that, but it does have a tendency sometimes to cut a little crooked. And I'm sure it's because I let it slip when I start cutting. All right, let's see if we got it right this time. This is front and back again. There we go. We're close. Showing a little less on this side than I want. I don't want to cut much off that top, so we're going to slide it down a little more, even it out, okay? It looks like we're in pretty good shape here, just a tiny bit off, not much. So, let's glue this piece up. Let's get a lot of glue on this. Let's get it good and glued. One more piece here, so I won't get it on my mat. If I can help it. I don't want it on my mat. My husband has built me a bird nest outside, and I keep hearing birds fight over it. I don't know if they're fighting over the nest or just fighting. But I got some birds outside arguing with each other. Or is it birds? Hey, it might be two squirrels. Come think about it. I believe I see two squirrels in the yard arguing. That's what it is. He's put seed out, and they're arguing over who's going to get that seed. Our squirrels like popcorn. My kids, I pop popcorn for my kids. We have movie night when my grandkids come to stay with me a lot. And, of course, they don't eat all their popcorn. And my husband used to just throw it out in the yard, and we would not start noticing the squirrels coming up and grabbing the popcorn. So we've made 2 feeders in the tree now, and we'll fill them up with popcorn every once in a while. They sure do love the popcorn. Not sure if it's good for them, but they sure love it. We're trying to find a what we call a fox squirrel to put in our habitat. We do have a squirrel habitat behind my shop here. My daughter and I started it 2 years ago. She's had several incidences where little baby squirrels have gotten knocked out of the nest, and people would bring the squirrels to her, and she nurses them until they're healthy enough to release again. And yes, we release them. We do not make pets out of squirrels because they can get a little vicious. Not a little. They do get vicious, and they're just not a pet. They're not meant to be a pet, so we don't keep them as pets, but we do put them in our habitat in our yard. Okay, I'm thinking I'm a little crooked on this, and I'm hoping when I push it down that it's not going to show. But the reason I didn't fold this to start with is because I want it to get really adhered down the seam. Because if you fold it first and then glue it down, when you open it up, you get a little buckle right here. You don't want that. So this technique is what I'm doing. If you know a better technique, that's strictly up to you. All right, before I fold it, I am going to cut the excess off. Get my glue papers out of the way. Okay, so we're going to just cut the excess off without cutting into our card. Okay, so that strip can go. Okay, and that strip can go. Okay, this is our technique. I don't know why that's showing. Oh, it's because this is a piece that fell on it. Woo! All right, and so now there's that. So now we're going to take, and we're going to start just gently doing this. Gently, gently, and gently. Pressing and folding until we can get our fold. Once we can lay it over, then we're going to press it down, guys, at this point. And hopefully, when we open it back up, we don't have a big buckle there. I hope it didn't slide. We don't. We've got a nice, it's a little, but no, that's because there's a fold there. But that's still a nice, good seal with the fold. So it's nice and sealed there. So now, guys, we have our first piece to our signature, which I think is quite lovely. Secondly, guys, if you left this page blank, you could have made your own new greeting card as well. So there's two options here. You can take an old greeting card and make a new one out of it. But we're going to keep on going with this journal. So we're like 40 minutes into getting that first one done through my explanation. This will be our first signature. As you see, that's our front cover. We'll have 3 pages. I'm probably going to come in here and slide a tea stain sheet, maybe a doily, something of interest into this signature. I think we're going to do a waterfall right here or either right here. I'm not sure. But for right now, and probably for a few days, as I said, I'm going in surgery, probably for a few days, NanaKaye won't be back on here. I hope my surgery goes so well that I feel like $1 million tomorrow and can get right on back over here and craft. I can't say what's going to happen. But that's the start of our greeting card, our altered greeting card journal. So this is NanaKaye saying thanks for watching. I have had a great time being with you today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and like below. Watch the whole video. Go back and look at my series on the total altered book from start to finish. That was a fun series. I think there were 15 sessions in that or series in that, but there will be a 16th when we do the actual flip through on that particular journal. It has turned out lovely. Go back and watch that one and maybe some others. And you have a blessed day. Remember to keep NanaKaye in prayer. Bye-bye.